So here we are today for another episode of Inspired Good Fat Life. I'm so excited to be here. Our guest today is an answer to a prayer of mine, and I really mean that literally. She is an answer to a prayer of mine, and so I just want to remind our viewers, listeners, that we've got a magazine, Good Fat Life. And at goodfatlife.com, and we have a new one coming out soon, and we're really excited about it. And with that, I want to introduce Beth Smith from Beth Smith Textiles, right?
Yes.
Right? So welcome, Beth. Like I said, I had been asking forever to find somebody in my world that could help me with alterations, with help me creating some wonderful. I work with the orchestra, and I have events to go to, so I need some really fun things where I feel amazing, but they suit me.
Yeah.
Right. And it's hard to find clothes that are ready-made that suit you, I guess.
Yeah.
So anyway, so tell us about you a little bit. So what do you do? And you have a textile company, and so tell me about it.
Well, so I design. Actually, a couple years ago, started learning pattern making. I've been sewing since I was a little kid.
Okay.
But a couple years ago, I started learning pattern making because I really wanted to learn how to design my own clothes. And so I design clothes and make them for anybody who wants them. If you're local to me, it's luckier, because we can do fittings and stuff. If you're not local, it's harder to get that dress that fits you perfectly, right? But I still do. I have some dresses that I sell online, and they're skirts. And my favorite thing to make is the wrap skirt that I designed. It's a big full wrap skirt. What I wanted when I made it was really for myself. Was, you know how like you buy wrap skirts and they have an overlap of like 6 inches or 8 inches, and so you walk around hoping there's not a breeze that's going to blow that open, right? Okay. And so I made these wrap skirts that there's a nice big overlap. You don't ever have to worry about your bits coming out.
Okay.
If a strong wind comes, you know. But it's also nice because we all fluctuate in our waist size. Women, right. It's not always the same. And so you can make it as comfortable as you want, or tight if you want to snatch that waist in. And
so, and I know that just from talking to you, I mean, I went to school in clothing and textiles before I switched to business. And I still, fabric literally can take my breath away, because there's just something so magic about fabric. I don't know what it is, but I know you understand that.
I do.
Right? There's just like, and there's just something also magic about being able to see something that you love, like a dress or a pant or something. Like I love watching like the Tonys and the academies and stuff, just for the dresses.
Yeah.
Right. And so you could go, that would look good on me, but that part wouldn't.
Right.
Right. And I don't have thousands and thousands to spend on a dress.
Right.
And so, and plus there's just the joy of creating. Right.
Well, I just, this spring I got to make a prom dress for one of my son's friends. And she sent me pictures of a bodice and pictures of a skirt and pictures. And then there was another picture that was a bodice that she wanted to put together. And so I made a sketch. My sketching is not great. She was just like thrilled with the dress when it was finished. And it really turned out really cute. And
I'm sure it was adorable. So, but talk to me. So you have a philosophy around dressing and clothing, and what lights you up on like why you go to your work every day.
Yes. I think, first of all, my purpose is to make clothes for women that help them to feel confident, that are comfortable, and help them to stand out in the world. Maybe everybody doesn't want to stand out, and so but that's my goal. That's to have people stand out. But I think that dressing well in clothes that fit you and fit your personality helps you to present yourself in a different way in the world, and it also helps people to see you in a different way.
As who you are. It's kind of like, it's we talk about marketing and branding and business, right? But it's your personal, it's your brand.
Personal brand,
and
yeah.
your story.
Yeah.
I worked in the corporate world for a long time, and one of my coworkers said, "You have such a unique way of dressing." And I go, "Yeah, it's timeless. It's never goes out of style because it's never in style."
Yeah.
Right?
Well, and that's a lot of the things that I make are they have a kind of a retro flavor, vintage a little bit, because I think kind of the hourglass shape is a really pleasing shape on a woman. And so I like a smaller waist and a skirt that flares out. I don't really make straight skirts. So if you want a pencil skirt, I'm not your girl. But if you want something that fits you well and is a little bit flirty and you feel like you want to spin around, I'm your person.
So I love that. I love that about you. Well, like I said, when I met Beth at an event, and I saw her across the room, and I'm like, I need to meet this woman. And I didn't even know that you did, that you were a seamstress then and clothing designer. And
the funny thing is, at that event, you said you're an answer to my prayer, and I was thinking, I almost didn't come to this. I was like, in the morning, I was like, I don't want to go to that.
Isn't that funny how that happens? But you did.
But
right? You listened
something said, just go.
Just go. You listen to your intuition and you do it.
Yeah.
So good for you. Well, thank you. I'm so glad you did. So what do you talk? Let's talk a little bit too, if you don't mind. You were talking about, because the magazine's about good fat and about nutrition and health and wellness, and how we dress and how we look is a big part of that. But it's a part of it. The core of us is around feeling really good in our bodies because of how we feed and fuel our bodies.
Yeah. So I have two things to say about that. The first one is shopping. I've never been a thin person. Even when I was a kid, I was not a thin person. And so going to the store was never fun for me. I always felt bad about myself.
I got it.
The clothes didn't fit right. It didn't feel good. My sister, who was thin, would go with me, and she looked good in everything, and I always felt bad. Now, I'm older, and I'm less thin than I was when I was young.
I can relate.
But I feel confident and comfortable with myself because now my clothes fit. It's a crazy thing when you have clothes that are made for your body, how different you feel about yourself. It's kind of nice. When I get dressed in the daytime, I don't feel uncomfortable or self-conscious about the fact that, I'm not 140 pounds. I'm not.
But you present yourself. I mean, the times that I've seen you and on your Instagrams and stuff, you just present yourself as so confident and having fun. And I love that about you. You just draw, it's like magnetic because it feels like you're so comfortable with who you are.
So I also have some health issues. One of them, I have Hashimoto's, which I was diagnosed with maybe 8 years ago. And I'm on the verge of diabetes.
Okay.
And I've struggled for 8 years to do what my doctor says, which is I need to be grain-free and I need to be sugar-free.
So that sounds like the essence of our magazine, right?
Right.
Oh,
and so I've tried lots of things. There's AIP diet, and there's a whole bunch of things I've tried. Whole30, keto actually is the one that makes me feel the best because it's meat and vegetables.
Right.
Right. And I feel awesome and my brain is working and I'm not tired. Why can't I stick to it? I feel amazing when I'm doing it. But ice cream is delicious.
There is keto ice cream now that's
It's not the same.
but there's not all keto ice creams are the same. I've found some that are amazing. I'm serious.
It's just a thing about feeling like I'm missing out on things. Family dinners, I have to bring my own dessert or, it's just a struggle right now.
So what I'm hearing you say is psychologically there's a sense of what I can't have versus as a restriction versus
Yes.
there's so many excuse me, there's so many things that I can have and I feel so good when I have
And
them.
it's difficult. It feels inconvenient because I can't drive through somewhere and get some McDonald's, which I
Keto-friendly,
love.
yeah. Okay. Okay. Well, at least you're honest, right?
But, it feels I'm busy. And so, I don't know, inconvenient is a big deal for me. I want everything to be convenient. So, or easy, especially because I don't really like to cook. And
Okay. No, I get it.
so it's just a thing of changing the way I think about how I eat and what are my priorities, right? Is my priority to be healthy and be around for my grandkids?
And I said you have 5 of them.
And I love to go to Disney World. And do I want to get to the point where I'm one of those scooter people? No, I don't. I want to be able to walk around Disney World on my feet until I'm 90 years old.
Wearing your beautiful dresses
Right.
and stuff, twirling with the kids. I get it. Oh, yeah.
So it really is just a mindset change of this is really what I want to do. And is this bowl of ice cream going to help me get to my goal?
Right. So that's why I started Good Fat Life from the get-go. There's a whole backstory on it, and it was around having food that was convenient. I was working on a snack with some partners and a healthy snack because one of them was a doctor and found that so many of his patients were not eating good fat because, as we know, we were raised that fat is bad.
Yeah.
Sugar is fine. Eat all you want, but don't eat fat. And it's just not true. So, but it's inconvenient.
Yeah.
And so I found while I was in that world that the snack world is that people wanted education and support and help on how to switch and feel like we weren't being deprived in any way.
Yeah.
And so it is a process, but I'm just letting you know that you have a community and that's our goal. I mean, I deal with it every day too, and I've learned it gets easier the more I learn. And as I'm getting older too, and as my grandkids are getting older, and I too don't want to be that. I want to be the 90-year-old that can go on the rides, right?
Yeah, yeah,
or at least be standing there taking pictures and feeling really good about it,
and not feeling like you walked up one flight of stairs and you need to go rest.
Or being afraid that there's a flight of stairs that you're going to have to walk up.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
right?
for sure.
I mean, so those things, they can just totally keep you at home.
Yeah.
So anyways, but it's all part of it. It's the dressing, finding those things that make your heart sing. So that we're not focusing on the things that really don't support our heart.
Yeah.
Except occasionally, right?
Yeah. I mean,
right.
Once in a while.
So what would you say if you are advising, you've got somebody, because women in clothes is, it's a big deal. I don't know any woman that doesn't love her clothes and doesn't feel like they could serve her better, right? Because they just don't fit right. Or we've all got clothes in our closet that we love, but they don't fit.
Yeah.
What would you and where would you advise people to get started to build that wardrobe and of things that you just feel amazing in?
I think one of the things is buy better clothes. It's really easy to go on the Shein website and buy those clothes that they're producing. Like it's crazy fast fashion, and they don't look great after. If they look great on you in the first wearing, they're not going to look great after the second or third,
right.
after they've been washed. They don't last.
And they're
But also
polluting the environment. I mean, there's so much
absolutely
about the how it's destroying our planet.
But one of my daughters was talking, and she was talking about a person who said that they couldn't afford to spend, $300 on a dress. But the thing is, how can you not afford? All you have to do is stop buying 50 things a year and buy 4.
Yeah.
Be very purposeful, because the clothes that cost more generally, not everything, but most of the time are better made, and they're going to last you for years. And so you just start with a little capsule wardrobe, and then you build on that. A couple of shirts, maybe a pair of pants if you like pants. I never wear them. A dress, a skirt, stuff that kind of all goes together, and buy the better stuff, and make friends with your local seamstress.
Your local seamstress, and I'm going to take a break here, your local dry cleaner.
Yeah.
Because I know that at Snedecor's Cleaners, Jim, the owner, and I have had lots of conversations around the value of buying that beautiful piece. Because, we've got things that both of us that we've had for 40 years because they were beautifully made, they were timeless, and you just still feel good wearing it. And then if you have it well cared for, it lasts.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Right. So, and at Snedecor's, they come and pick stuff up off your door, and they deliver it right back, and the service is impeccable. And anyways, and it's so convenient. But I just know that my clothes are going to be amazing, and when I go to wear it, it's there.
Yeah.
So now it's having it fit me perfectly, right?
Yeah. Everybody's body is different, and the manufacturers can't make a dress that's going to fit everybody the same way. And so if you find that beautiful dress, and it mostly fits you, if you go to your seamstress, and I think Snedecor's has an alterations person to do hems and stuff, right?
Right. I guess simple
mine
things,
are simple
but
alterations.
But not body, obviously, alterations.
But if you make friends with your local seamstress, she can make it fit you perfectly, make like it was made for your body. And so it's kind of a great thing, because I do have skirts or dresses that I wear every week that I've had for 5 years, because of the way that I make them and make sure that they're made well and they're going to last. And a lot of my dresses that I make for myself are cotton. So I'm throwing them in the washing machine. I hang them up to dry, and I don't like to put things in the dryer. I think that breaks them down faster, but all my stuff gets thrown in the washing machine.
Okay. And then you just hang dry
and hang it dry.
So if you, I just had a moment. I must not be eating enough good fat. Okay. So what's your process? So if somebody was going to work with you, what does that look like?
So if you're local,
right,
you come to my house.
Okay.
And it usually takes at least an hour to talk about what you want, to look at the fabrics that I have on hand. And then after that, I go shopping and find the stuff. If we didn't have anything in my sewing room, I go shopping and find the perfect thing.
Okay.
If it's a person that's not local, then we have a Zoom meeting.
Okay.
And I show the fabrics online. Beforehand, there's a questionnaire that talks about colors and patterns and what kind of things that people like.
Right.
So I can be prepared with a pile. And usually what happens in the Zoom meeting is new things come out, and then I run away and go pull more things off the shelf. And then I go shopping. I have several places that I like to buy fabrics that are good quality fabrics. And then I send photographs. And then once we narrow that down, I can get swatches. So it's not fast.
Okay.
There's nothing fast fashion about what I'm doing.
Okay.
It's really a garment that's made for you. What you want, how you want to feel, the colors that you love and feel good in. And so it usually takes about 6 to 8 weeks on the short end to get something
to go through.
Finished.
Okay. And what about an alteration? How much time does that take, or what's the process?
fast.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm really.
You bring your items in, and
you bring it in, and in most cases, I can have it done in a week.
okay.
It just depends on what else is in line in front of you, but generally alterations, I'm really good at them.
Okay. Okay. No, it's such a gift. It's a gift, and so I promised my husband I would go through my closets and get rid of the things that are, donate to the things that I just don't wear anymore. So it's exciting to be able for me to be able to say, okay, here's my pile of things that don't fit quite right, but I love them.
Yeah.
And can you help?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, and most of the time I can. There's sometimes, it's kind of a, I don't think that's going to work thing, or we find a workaround.
Okay.
We make it work. It might not be exactly what you had in mind, but we make it work.
But there's that collaborative process,
Right.
Right?
Right.
How fun is that?
I had a bride call me last year in tears, like crying, because she had been to another dressmaker, alterations person. She bought this wedding gown, and it didn't fit. She couldn't get it over her arms. It was a sleeveless gown. The factory said they could add sleeves, but they didn't do the things that were necessary when you add sleeves to a garment. And so she couldn't, and she was a small young girl, and she couldn't get it up past her biceps. And she went to the other person who said, there's nothing I can do. I can just make it sleeveless. And she just was crying. I said, well, just come over right now. And it was kind of awesome because I needed to, there was fabric on the bottom I needed to cut off. And so I just opened up the sleeve and put a triangle of fabric in the seam under her arm and opened up the armhole a little bit. And
it was
nobody
perfect.
Knew
anything.
And she was thrilled and got to wear the dress that she loved the most. And but I think I was lucky because I grew up with a mom who also is a dressmaker and made wedding dresses my entire life. And so I watched her do stuff. And so I have that benefit of a long time of watching and seeing how to do things.
And there's something that's magic about that, right?
Yeah.
It's like we have a problem, and we're going to figure this out.
Yeah.
And I don't know how, but we're going to do it.
Yeah.
Right? There's just something really magic about that.
Yeah.
And then everybody feels good. So, well, good. Well, it's been so much fun having you, and I can't wait to play together with my wardrobe.
Yeah.
And seeing what you think in fabrics, and just somebody who shares my passion for clothes and fabrics and all of that too. And so we will so if somebody's looking for you, how would they find you?
My website is bethsmithtextiles.com.
Okay.
I'm on Instagram, and it sort of is Beth Smith Textiles, but it's Beth Smith with an I, textiles. It's SMITHI textiles.
Oh, okay.
That's a long story why that is.
Okay, but we'll post all that.
Yeah.
Right, so people can find you.
Yeah, and I'm on YouTube, and so if you just look for Beth Smith Textiles, you can find me. My TikTok is the funnest place right now.
Okay. Okay. Sounds good. Well, it's been such a joy having you. Thank you so much for being here and taking the time. And yeah, it's just making my heart sing.
Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. Okay. So to our listeners, yeah, we're going to go out and we're going to live our good fat life. So thank you for being here.